Have you ever felt like life was throwing more at you than you could handle? For Seema, that meant facing cancer, career setbacks, and the weight of family struggles, while still showing up as a mum. In this conversation, she opens up about what those experiences taught her. Hi Seema, it's so great to have you here. Let's start by you just sharing a little bit about yourself.
About me, I am a mum of 8-year-old, settled in Sydney, working in IT sector, cancer warrior, and a little bit of an overthinker. You will know about more details as we continue our conversation.
Yeah, and if you were to write an autobiography of your life, what would the title be and why?
I was wondering about it and I had thought about two. One is little bit of everything with a sprinkle of pixie dust. If you watched a movie Tinkerbell, you're not actually explain. She looks exactly like you with a high knot and a round face. And she's a go-getter and she's extremely talented. She starts with self-doubt, but then eventually she accepts her talents. So I would highly recommend watching your series of Tinkerbell. And that's the line I got. Pixie dust is a magical golden dust. They sprinkle on everything and the magic happens. Everything becomes wonderful. So if you see, even in my Instagram, I have put that as a status. A little bit of everything sprinkled with pixie dust. But on a serious note, if I have to talk about, because of my life journey and all, I'm a strong believer of hope. So I always want to call it a ray of hope. Any circumstances I see, I always see a ray of hope there. So whichever suits the situation.
Sounds like you've got two very lovely, ready to go autobiography titles.
Yes, thank you.
And Seema, you've mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'm still going to ask you, looking back, what has been your most memorable challenge, struggle, or setback to date for you?
It's interesting how the external views think could be most challenging, which is obviously cancer. But internally within me, that was not as challenging as some of the life circumstances I have had. Maybe because cancer was something which was not in my control. I couldn't do much. All I had to do is surrender to the doctors, surrender to the way how things go, and I just took one step at a time. Whereas life circumstances, due to my family background, where my parents got separated very early, I was a teenager. So I always wanted to be financially independent. Having that security and making sure that I can take care of myself has been a biggest worry. So if I look back, every time I had difficulty losing a job or there was some circumstances, it indirectly kind of puts me in a situation where I self-doubt, what will happen? What will happen to my if I'm not financially settled? How will I sail through this life journey? So that's what bothers me a lot. It's interesting that even though I've had situations in my career, setbacks, and many times I've been made redundant, many times I've lost roles, but that is one space I really want to work on and have that self-confidence. Things will work out. That's what I'm trying to focus this time.
So would you say that the most memorable challenge for you is actually early on in your teenage years when your parents separated?
Yes, because I think being like my mom was a homemaker and having that financial security had such a big impact on my life. If we had that sorted, life would have been very different. So I always made sure that, my mom always gave me this tip. Every time you earn, at least try to save 50% of your salary, which is not possible all the time, but at least aim to save 50, but you'll end up at least saving 10 to 20%. So it's a contingency plan when things go wrong.
So it sounds like, having your parents separated, it's now really shaped how you view your life and how you actually view circumstances that happen. I'm really curious to unpack a bit more, other than that change and shift in terms of how you look at finance. How else has your parents' separation impacted you?
Okay, that was a negative impact, but I'll talk about the positive impact. I became more self-confident and at a very early age. It's like, throwing the bird out of nest before it's ready to fly, but you will struggle, you'll figure out. So I didn't die. I didn't fall down when my wings were not ready. I took a flight. I know it was not a heap of, like going to straight to the sky, but at least I knew I could fly and then land on a branch, lower branch to higher branch, and then eventually fly in the sky. So I did have, somehow we call them angels, right? There are people who have come in my life situations and helped me in different aspects of life. Now when I look back, I really am grateful for them, and some of them have taught me very strong lessons which I have learned. Some of them have been a very strong support system, like, yeah, this is the way you go. And some of them have been just trying to show my faults so that I know. It really made me insecure or uncomfortable at situations, but when I look back, those insecurities is what made me stronger. Now, and some of my friends call me self-made Seema because back in India, being a teenager, going out without much of a knowledge of what the world is ready to offer, I started, like a simple example I'll give you. I wanted a job and I was 17 years old. I didn't know what to do. And one of my friend's sister was already working. She had finished her graduation. I was just out of HSC, which is equivalent to 12 standard there. And I'm like, how do I get a job? She said, you need to have a CV or a resume. What's that? So she said, talk about something. I don't know what to talk about me. I mean, maybe what qualifications you have. I've just passed out of HSC. I don't know what qualities I have. She said, this is your quality. You are looking out already to do something. Write about your strengths, like, your hobbies, your passion, and what were you good at in studies, creativity. And one of my personality is being very positive in every situation. So talk about that. And back in, I think this was in 2005-06 time, even though digital world was very well elaborated, there were a lot of consultancies back in Bangalore, still wanted a physical copy. So I used to go to different offices and said, this is my resume, help me get a job. So yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah, wow. So it sounds like that you've been actually quite blessed with some amazing people.
Yes, I met the right people at the right time. I would not say just the right people. I've met wrong people as well, but somehow there was this intuition and gut feeling which always dragged me to the right path. So yeah.
So if I was to ask you to rewind and really look back, what do you think was the toughest thing for you as a teenager when you were going through your parents' separation?
Because of the culture and the type of situations where the society, especially for the girls, the minute there is ambiguity about parents' relationship, the first thing they think is about get her married so that she gets settled. So my mom was not ready for it. I was not ready for it. Getting a 17-year-old married is not the solution, but that's how the society looks into it. And there were a lot of setbacks. I wouldn't say it was easy for my mom as well. So I remember a couple of relatives. It was in our local language, but I'll try to translate. Whenever they came and said, she's just young, she doesn't know what to do, world is not good, what if she ends up being in a bad company and have a bad life? What will you do? Get her married. So my mom said only one thing. There's a calf, which is a baby cow. If it wants to stay, even if you don't tie it, it will stay. But if it has to run out, it will tear the rope, it will break the rope and still run away. So I trust my daughter. I know I don't have to tie her with a rope. If she will have to stay, she will stay. If she has to run away, she'll run away. I'll leave her to make that decision, which was a big support system for me. She trusted in me. Of course, there were situations when I used to get those, and my mom never used to say things, her expressions. If I go home late around 9 o'clock, she wouldn't say a word. She'll just serve the dinner and she'll have a straight face. And that guilt, used to kill me. Even though at circumstances, because she's a homemaker, she didn't have that background of how the corporate world works, how the work organizations work. Sometimes you have to slog, and it was the distance was also quite far where I was working. So if I end up coming late, she'll be like, and I'm like, I can't even explain. But then I used to always have that struggle between genuinely being late because of work, and sometimes you're young, you still want to go out, have fun with your friends. I had to make a strike balance, but I was very clear due to my parents' experiences what I want in life. I think I knew that very young. I wanted to have a strong career. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to find a partner who is a partner, not a husband. In India, it's predominantly men rule the world. It's changing now. It's been 2 decades. So it's changing since I was young till now, that men are equally contributing. But back then it was more of women holding the pillar and running the shows. Yeah, I wanted to be very clear about someone who is respectful, who is a partner, who values me equally. If not, I'm happy to be alone. So I was ready for that.
So it sounds like that you've had a really good relationship with your mum, and that experience also shaped your mindset in terms of looking for a partner.
Yeah.
There were particular characteristics that you were looking for.
Yes, I was very clear on what I want, yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't say I have excellent relationship with my mother. I think somewhere I still have that friction with her. There is humongous respect for what she's done, but we are very bad in expressing. I wouldn't, I've seen my friends who go and give a cuddle and Mom, I never had that relationship. It was very, I learned a lot of lessons from her. I learned being strong from her. I learned, situations where you have nothing, how you can evolve from that situation kind of. But at the same time, I had that feeling while I was growing up, even as a teenager and in my 20s and now in 30s, that she could have done better. I think I'm too harsh on her. Now I've started realizing, but I want to wait for the right moment to express that, yes, she did her best.
And given your experience, how has that shaped you with your parenting style now?
Sometimes, I'm more aware of situations. I have more information access, which my parents didn't have. It is a blessing as well as in disguise, as well as a curse. So I know about ancestral trauma and the baggage of ancestral trauma. Somewhere it is still inbuilt in me. I'm being very honest and open. I want to be a great mom, but I still struggle with my 8-year-old son because of some of these things which are passed down from generations, something from my dad's side, something from my mom's side. So I think my husband is a balancing factor there. He's he's easygoing. He'll try to, I'm more of for that, very disciplined. I want it this way. I'm trying to relax, but at times my son keeps asking, why are you not nice to me like you're nice to other kids? I was like, they listen to me. You don't listen to me. So I think with age, he's understanding that. And yesterday he said a very beautiful thing. Both parents are wonderful. Both parents are equally good. But I always had that self-doubt. Am I doing best? Because usually when the children are small, they're more attached to moms than dads. But maybe because of my health situation as well, I had to be away from him for a year. Even though we were residing in the same house, to keep myself safe from infections during cancer treatment, he was not able to spend much time with me. There's a bad gap which I'm trying to fix at the moment. But yeah, hopefully, eventually our relationship will get much better and more closely bonded.
I think what I really appreciate from that is just that extra awareness.
Yes.
That you have and that you bring to kind of your parenting, recognizing that you do have generational trauma that you are bringing down from previous generations, and being more aware of how you're showing up as a parent. Sounds like an experience that you've had has shaped you.
Yes, as a mom. It's shaping me. I wouldn't say it's shaped me. I have that awareness. I need to put them in action. That's where the gap, it's a huge gap I need to. Yes.
Okay. And what does it look like for you putting into action, or what steps are you planning to take to put into action?
Sometimes I relate this to work. When I meet my friends or when I meet my colleagues, the first thing they notice is you're so energetic, you're so positive, you're so calm, you are listening. But I don't have the same qualities at home. I do, but because this is my space, I can be myself. Sometimes I have those vulnerabilities which are very obvious. I don't show them at work or with friends. And there is no such situation created as well, right? To show everything about you. So I feel like I need to use those elements at home as well. Like my mom says, you're nice to everybody, not me. That is actually struck me hard. So I have to really put that double effort now to make sure that he sees that side of mine.
You're recognizing that and you're looking to reconcile.
It's a different side. I would say partial of it, the best of it. Every personality has different qualities, right? The good, bad bad, ugly. So at work, I might be showcasing more of my good qualities with little bit of bad or probably the weaknesses. But at home, you're 100%, you're there. They know everything about you. So all characteristics come out. So because always the negative things stand out, so the positive things kind of get lost. So that's where I am trying to focus and see that how can I make it more, bring out my more positive side and be more patient. I think sometimes I take it for granted as well. They're my family, they should understand. But at work, I know, I can't expect them to understand me. I should adapt. So that mindset is what I want to work on. I did recently see a podcast which said, be nicer, be best, be good to the people, not at work or not your friends, your family first. So they are like the core system of yours. So which practically, if you see, is the other way around, right? Even if you see yourself, your friends, whom you are the most closest, you tend to be yourself, and somewhere that balances, it doesn't get balanced, and they see more of your negative sides. So that's one of the aspects I want to consciously work on with my family. Yeah, so I would say that, it's written and said everywhere, family comes first, but put that in practical use.
And practically, what would that be looking like?
You take that best characteristics of you, where you feel your best, and have those examples work in your brain or mind, and put that extra effort to understand how you can implement that in your family life. So for example, in this video, I'm smiling, I'm talking, I'm expressing, I'm calm. That's what I'm sensing. But if you see me at home, my son sometimes like, Mom, why don't you smile? I'm like, really? And I started consciously looking at mirror every time I talk to him and go back to the mirror. I'm like, I have that straight, angry face, which is not the case here, right? So that's the first thing. Even if I want to yell at him or I want to be disciplining him, I should put that smile, which makes a huge difference.
That's so encouraging and so helpful, Seema. Thank you so much for joining me for this lovely informal chat. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Susan, for giving me this opportunity. I hope this will be useful and helpful to all the lovely people who will view this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'm walking away from Seema's story is this. The people who matter most should get the best of us, not just the leftovers. We're quick to adapt for colleagues, to show patience and kindness for our friends. Yet too often, our families get what's left at the end of the day. I know I'm guilty of that, and maybe you are too. Seema's story reminded me that kindness starts at home. Every small act, patience, a smile, being present shapes the love our families carry forward. Maybe the real challenge is this: bring your best self home first. And if that thought resonates, share this episode with someone who might need the reminder to. If you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our next story. Bye for now, friends.